And so it's time to jump in on this. Remove unit from previous partition if they're no longer in them. It's basically the update. So let's take a look at this. So we need to pretty much do this. We need to basically figure out when a unit has left a particular dimension, particular partition, excuse me, and be able to figure out if they need to be removed or need to be added to the previous partition. As of right now, we iterate through all the partitions that they are part of. What we need to do first, actually before we do this one, we should not add unit to partitions they already belong to. Okay. So let's def setup unit, and I think we could just take most of this here. So let's just grab this D P. All right. So now we can put this here, and what we need out of this is we need the agent PID, and we need the battle unit, and we need, I think that's all we need. Okay, so let's set up unit, and it's going to give us a agent PID and the battle unit. Let's go over here. Don't do that. Don't worry. Okay. Here it says unit PID. We're going to need that. Let's see here. Battle unit dot PID. That should be fine now. There we go. All right. So we're going to take the same thing. Put. Okay, and now we're going to update unit. We're going to get the dimensions, and now we need to move the unit around. So we're just going to take the battle unit and battle unit, battle unit, and we're going to say position X is now going to be 5200, so it keeps in the same area, and position Z, we'll put them at 1800, so they're still in the same, should stay in the same area. So now, let's put this here, and we should get the update partitions. Let's see here. The add unit. Did we actually check to see if the world partition Yeah, right here, reject that. So here, we'll yank that, and put that here. So we still get the same 4 dimensions. And when we get the partitions, we should get 4 PIDs. And then we should make sure that add unit is only called once. Okay, so that failed. But we know it shouldn't. Let's see here. Update unit. Let's go over here. I'm going to say IO inspect. Updating kids. And this is 42. So it's definitely being called 8 times. Actually, what we'll need to do, let's do partition PID. So we do get them called more times. And we're going to do IO inspect here, part PID. And so this one says 269 through 280, 269 through 280. And it is matching against this. Once. Well, that's kind of a bummer. It's not seeming to match that. And it's actually kind of interesting because it probably wouldn't. So that's a problem with syringe, I think, because that won't actually match. Anyways, so let's think through this. We could... Let's take a look at syringe. Syringe. That's a good goal. A good measure. Yeah, look at that. Lib mocked. So here's the source code to syringe. And increment call count, we're going to get it by function and args. So yeah, that won't fully match. So let's get matching args. And this actually looks like it should actually equal. So I'm going to dig into that later. In the meantime, what we can do is think about it. How can we validate this? Set up unit. Update partitions. Okay, so that might work. So let's do this. Part PIDs. Let's go here. Put this here. And what we can do is we can do enum.each partition PIDs function. See if this works. Part PID and oops, V. Why isn't V working? There we go. Alright, so we can do intercept the world partition, add unit part PID battle unit. With function and we just return null outbound. So let's see if that clears some things up. No, that's still a pass. IO inspect add unit. Let's do any on this. Inspect part PID. So it is being called. It is being set up, and add unit is not being called. It's open but closed. Partition PID IO inspect. Here, see if there's anything that this is giving us. We're going to say, let's check this back to part PID. And we're going to return food. So it gives us nil. So it's actually not matching. which is interesting because it's saying that this is. So never. See if this actually is. Okay, so that is actually catching. Session failed. Huh, it's very odd. Oh, you know what it is? Ah, that's tricky. So the battle unit's not matching because we've changed the position X and Z. Alright, so if we do this, check this out. And so the syringe is doing the job correctly. There we go. So it's actually turning foo now. See that? So let's just return to nil, and we can get rid of this and go back here. Oops. Go back here, and now we can match on, darn it, match on any, and this should fail now. Ugh, are you kidding me? I thought that would work. So what we can do, let's see, can we need the partition PIDs. If we do, here we go. Battle unit. Okay, so this is actually good. So I want to say never on this. Okay, this is gonna work. Promise this time. So this will work. And you're gonna wonder like why we're gonna do it this way. So it should be never because we've already matched on the previous one, so it shouldn't rematch. We could theoretically go like this. We can go link to, just for good measure, we can do this and assert that at this point they're all called once. So when we move them, they're called never. There we go. All right. So now, perfect. Okay. So, so we're calculating dimensions, which happens in this PID. Get partitions, which happens. Happens in the in a different PID. And then when we get partitions, that's when things get tricky because we're calling this guy once, which we're going to have to just bite the bullet on that one because we really can't get around that. So it's at this point here is we need to say if not in partition, give the unit, and we need the dimension. And so maybe we should actually extract this out. Def p assign 1 second here. Assign the unit to, let's say update unit partitions. And we're going to give it the partition PIDs. Now, update unit partition. Partition PID into dimension. And we're just going to do this. Okay, so now we can take this out of here. So D to P, there we go. V, oops, V, let's just do this. Now, we can just do ampersand, update unit partition, area 1. Now, if P nudge in partition, which is sort of weird, but it's very explicit. Unit and the dimension. And unit unit and dimension. Okay. Do. Okay. Now, if they're not in the partition, then we can do is we can say in partition. Question mark. And we'll see where we're going at with this soon. Okay, so and we're going to do enum dot let's look here. We want any. Yes. Any. And it's going to be unit dot partitions. And partitions gives us a PID in dimension. So this is going to be function the PID, which we don't care about. PID and unit dimension. And now we can do we need to calculate the dimension. Dimension containing. We go calculate dimensions. This will give us calculate dimensions, and if we give it a list of unit dimension, nearest dimension. And then if, so we can say nearest dimension is equal to unit dimension. No, dimension. Okay, so that looks like it'll run. 161 in partition unit. Okay. Function is going to be partition pid dimension unit partition pid dimension, we'll just say like item ID, and we need the unit here, unit. Alright. Enumeral not implemented for nil. Okay. Line 55. That seems weird. That's line 140 at the unit. IO inspect partition PIDs. Weird. Oh, because that doesn't make sense, that's why. Alright, so we definitely got a list. And then we go to update unit partition, IO inspect unit. Okay. Inspect unit partitions, and it's at this point putting $200 on it. That's the nil. Okay, so unit partitions. Partitions FP in partition nil. Who cares? This is going to be false. And partition unit dot partitions. There we go-ish. Okay. So now This is where we go back. Update. Now, let's go here. IO inspect unit partitions. If not in partition, so we can say, actually, the add unit on line 151. Okay, so that's still correct. So we should get add unit here. Inspect adding unit. Should get that 4 times. We're getting it 8 times. Unit. So this is where they have the 2 different sets. Okay, so it's still wrong. I will inspect nearest dimension and dimension. Weird. Inspect unit.partitions. Always nil. Okay, so that's at least comforting. So I think we're back in this position that we forgot to do this. And update unit, we'll put it here. And we update partitions with unit PID any. We're going to get the partitions. And then we've done it here. We update the partitions. One. Let's put that. Let's put that here. Like that. In fact, what we can do to make this simpler, we can say partitions. There we go. Unit PID. That'll do it. Alright, still not there yet. Inspect partitions. Too much logging going on. So it's nil. IO inspect, update, partitions. Really? That's weird. Partitions. So just a null partition? No. Oh, yes. Weird. So we call update unit. This. So it looks like the update partitions is being called after, which is kind of strange. So here, let's go back to this. Battle partitions. This is going to be inspect partitions. That's really odd. So here, inspect code updating partitions. Which is not even the right spelling, but that's okay. Code updating the partitions. Partition bits. Inspect. Code updating partitions. There's the partitions, and then battle partitions is null. Battle unit PID. Very odd. Let's go back over here. And we're going to comment out. What is it? Do this to me. So if you go here. Aha, okay, so that's what it's thinking that was going to happen. But why is it not matching on the pit? I inspect unit PID. I inspect battle unit PID. They are the same PID. Is there something going on over here? Yes, there it is. The agent PID. Okay. There we go. That's what we needed. For some reason that was easier, but okay. No. So this is going to be agent PID, and then we don't need this anymore. Get points. Argument error. IO inspect unit dimensions. Okay, so we've got 3,200. Calculate dimensions. We got a dimension. Get points. What? So there's our dimension, saying that get points is super weird. Wall dimension is height, width, x, z, with x and list. Maybe it's just this. Alright, getting different results, which is good. 72. Saying we can't match right hand side, which is actually 4 things. So if we do nearest dims, enum any is, just pipe it in, enum any function nearest dim and here. There we go. It passed. How about that? There we go. Surprisingly, after all that effort, we got it to pass. So now we have that set up. So the next test we need to do is test should not, should remove unit from partitions they no longer belong to. And that's it for today, world PID, and we'll get this finished off tomorrow. Happy coding, see you then.